Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters cast. Going to be having a great time here today. We've got one of our friends from the Hairy Bash here, actually. I believe this is WCS America Challenge League for Season 2. So let's introduce the players. Down the bottom right side of the map, it is Mr. KingkOng. He is 24 years of age from South Korea, plays for Team Exile 5. And his opponent up the top left side of the map is Mr. Windy, otherwise known as MajOr. He is 21 years of age from Mexico, plays for Root Gaming. So going to be a very, very cool game going on here. And we're going to be seeing exactly what goes on. So the Reaper's coming on in. No kills as of yet, but definitely putting the hurt on some of the Lings. Chasing. Oh, is he going to... He should get at least one Ling kill here. No! No Ling kills at all, man. That's so close, but he might get a worker kill here. That worker is out in the middle of nowhere with the Reaper. Oh, didn't have enough to actually... Yeah, there we go. Manages to jump off that cliff. Oh, what are we doing here? A little bit of lag. That's not good. But these Lings, man, they got so close to dying. And then again, so did the Reaper. So I reckon he's got a second Reaper out there, but he's decided not to move out yet. Saw the Queens, decided to just fall back. And MajOr, aka Windy, aka MajOr, is getting a command center out here, so he should be just fine. Yeah, he's actually getting a third base as well. We've seen this from a couple of players, actually. I can't remember. I think in the end of Hairy Bash 5, I think Spear was doing this quite a bit. Off the top of my head, getting for this extremely early third base, but Spear did it even faster than this. I think, yeah, I think it was Spear. Against Betrayus in the grand final, but Windy doing it a little bit later, but it's still a relatively early third base coming up here, so his macro is going to be quite strong. And KingkOng going for a third base as well. It's still fairly early, but it's a bit closer to normal timing for a Zerg player, whereas this quite early. And yeah, so it's going to delay all of his barracks tech and all that other sort of stuff by a fair bit. He's not going to be able to push out at like the 8-9 minute mark with a ton of Marines and maybe a Marauder or two. I don't think that's going to happen, but his economy is definitely going to be in a good shape. Is it the Reaper? Oh, hold on one sec. Hold on. Alrighty, bloody phone came on, but here we go, back in the game, and it looks like these Lings are going to get scared away nice and easily by a bunch of Hellions, so that's not going to be a problem. We are going to be seeing the Starport docking onto the Tech Lab, and KingkOng has got to be either expecting a Raven or a Banshee, but it's... I don't know, he was building a Viking and then decided to switch over a Banshee. I don't know if you can tell what it's building just by looking at it. I wouldn't think so, so I don't think he's trying to fool KingkOng. Yeah, I think maybe he just clicked the wrong button or something like that, but a Banshee will be coming out, and we were seeing Cloak coming out, actually, but it looks like he may have cancelled that, so decided not to go for the full Cloak option, just for the Banshee, just for a bit of extra harassment. With 4 Queens running around the place, though, I don't know whether the Banshees are going to be all that effective. We just have to hope that some Spore Crawlers are coming up, because I mean, if there's no Spore Crawlers, those Banshees are going to do a ton. And it's not like there's going to be any lack of workers to shoot, because KingkOng is going absolutely ballistic here with the amount of workers he's building. He's shot up to about a 15 worker lead, 13 worker lead, and he's going to keep pushing them out. Windy is going to try and do as much as he can. He's got the third base, so he's not in a bad shape by any stretch, but still, even with 3 bases, you cannot build as many workers as a Zerg player if they go completely nuts, as KingkOng is doing. And with the third base coming out, we should expect him to see us getting some gas over there. He's got the Spy coming, so it looks like heavy middle link production is going to be the name of the game here. And we'll just have to see how Windy decides to deal with it. He does look like he is maybe going for mech here. We've got double factory coming out, and double factory versus, I mean, mech versus Mutiling is going to be interesting. I mean, versus the Lings, fair enough, you got tons of Hellbats, they do a great job. Versus Banelings, it gets a little bit more interesting. The Hellbats can sort of soak up a lot of the Baneling hits, but oh man, no Spore Crawler there. None at all. KingkOng dropping the ball a little bit. He scouted the Starport. He knew, well, the Starport, he knew it was there, but chose not to go for a, chose not to go for spores. And the Hellions coming on in roasting lings like you would not believe. They're going to have to deal with queens, but there's so many of these guys here. The armory is up, so they should be able to morph into Hellbats whenever they want, I believe. No, is there a research? I don't know. For some reason, I keep thinking that all they need is an armory and then they could just morph, but maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I'm just plain wrong. So it doesn't look like they can morph, because if they could morph, you better believe that Mr. Windy would have morphed him in there. And in fact, yeah, we can't see what the upgrades are there. So yeah, those transformation servos. We'll have to keep an eye out if he's actually going for that. It looks like he's going for a bunch of Thors here. Thor's going to be, yeah. He's really going to have to get the Hellbat numbers out there to actually deal with those lings, though, because the lings are starting to look quite scary. They haven't got through those rocks there, but it's going to be a problem. Missile turret comes up just in time to scare the mutas away. The very, very edge of a second there to get those guys out. And missile turret's on that base as well, so Windy looking okay at this point. How many workers? Ow! 26 workers have died so far, most of them probably from that Banshee, so Windy in a sensational point at this point. Absolutely looking beautiful, and KingkOng just did not anticipate the Banshee coming out. Could have saved yourself a lot of pain by just getting the few spore crawlers. I mean, just if you see a starport and you're just like, you know what? Sure, I'll go for it. Just, it's not likely that the Terran player will be getting Banshees at that point. It's more likely they'll be getting out a ton of medevacs to prepare for the Triple M play, but yeah, it's just... it seems like such a bad decision not to get one in retrospect. But that's from looking at everything and from seeing how much damage was done. I don't know if a Windy was like completely going nuts, going for something that no Terran ever goes for at that point. And if that was the case, that nobody ever goes for Banshees at that point, then maybe KingkOng wasn't too out of play. It's a question of, is it a genius move by Windy, or is it just a massive mistake by KingkOng? And I'd like to say that it's probably a little bit of both, I think. It's, I mean, it's definitely, I think, an unexpected move by Windy, and still, I think that KingkOng, yeah, I don't know. He just completely caught by surprise, and it's kind of, I have mentioned sometimes in the past, like once or twice, that there is a difference between a great player, like a difference in a good and a great player, or a difference in a great player and the best in the world. And I think one of the differences between the great players and the best in the world players is that the best in the world players would have just built a spore crawler there. They would have had some sort of twitch, they would have had some sort of feeling. They would have said, alright, starport's going on. What's going on here? What's the deal? Maybe I should just get a spore crawler. Or maybe they would have done some heavier scouting, got an overlord out there watching out for Banshees a little bit more. Something like that. Suicided an overlord in to maybe try and catch the Banshee. I don't know, but it's an interesting point to say that sort of stuff. But I would not be surprised if you get one of the best of the best of the best of the best in the entire world and they had spore calls. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, it doesn't look like, well, Windy, man, he's going absolutely nuts. He's got 1-1 on everything, 2-2, very, very close. The thingamabob, the Hellbat Blue Flame, starting to come up. I'm surprised he didn't get that earlier with all the Hellbat play he's having to go through. And it doesn't look like he's researched that transformation service. I don't know if this is just a holdover, this thing, or if it is a real actual research and he just hasn't done it. But I mean, probably most of his ground-based guys have probably gone down. Oh, look at this. There's a fair amount of Vikings here as well, which is going to help. And there is a decent amount of Thors with these mutas just going absolutely nuts in here. I don't know if they're specifically targeting anything. I think they might be specifically targeting the Thors. Or maybe there's just too many by the looks of it. Look at that. 3 Thors down to about a third of the health. That is not what you want to see. There's a total of 6 Thors though, so it's just nuts. Maybe they're all trying to hit this one and the other 2 just got damaged by splash, but still, that is just bad. Windy has gone absolutely nuts on the Thors. You think he had 2-2 when that attack happened, so it was a perfect time for Windy, aka MajOr, to be defending against that attack. And now he's just going to roll in, KingkOng has re-macroed extremely fast, but has he re-macroed anything which can actually help him here? I don't know. He's getting a ton of roaches. Roaches not bad, but I think the siege tanks still have a decent chance to just rip them apart slowly. And he's got a decent amount of siege tanks there as well. The Thors are definitely going to start owning them. So I'm not sure what he could do here. Lings are not going to help him. Well, if he takes out all of the Hellbats, maybe Lings start to become a viable option, but the roaches have busted through here. They've busted through the Hellbats, which would have been easy, and now they're starting to have a go at the Thors, but with a whole bunch of workers over here repairing everything, I don't know that it's going to happen, and there we go. KingkOng just having to give the GG, and it came down to quite a few things. I mean, the Muna numbers over here, and he was against a lot of Thors though. There were like 6 or 7 Thors, and it's very, very hard to break that many Thors when you've got mutas. You need to have like 1 or 2 at a time, maybe 3 if you've got a crap ton of mutas. Once they get up to a certain number, you are just screwed no matter what you do. And I mean, before that, it was just the Banshee and the Hellions rolling in here as well, just going nuts. And I mean, we could talk for like 10 minutes about the decision for KingkOng not to build Spore Crawlers. It could be a huge mistake. It could be a completely unexpected surprise that no Terran player you would usually do at that point. To be honest, I don't know what the answer is, and I can't even say that the best of the world would be expected to deal with that sort of play, because maybe they don't. Maybe it's just completely nutso surprise that even the absolute best Zergan player in the world wouldn't expect. But yeah, what can you say? So that's it. We're not going to leave this game by saying that KingkOng screwed up, because I'm not saying that, and I don't think I could say that. So we'll just have to leave it there and let you guys make up your own mind. Let me know in the comments what you think, because I'm still on 2 sides. Did KingkOng make a mistake, or did Windy just pull off a crazy wild strategy which KingkOng didn't expect? Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'd be interested in knowing. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching this game, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned.